welcome back, everyone. So, like Nigel said before, this has been like pre-pandemic planning. It's been a long time coming. And initially, when Nigel presented me this idea, it was to do the 40 gamers and makers to change what the face of gaming looked like in other people's eyes and to really show that off, as well as sort of encourage the industry to make some changes and be more inclusive. But what I think the pandemic actually helped with is it gave us more time to really create something more than that, and make it more impactful.
We were all ready to do this in, what was it, all the way back, I think it was like 20 years ago in 2020. We were ready to do it. We had all the people together, and we really wanted to show like the different levels of diversity and representation that does exist in gaming as a way to inspire young people and those that want to sort of be here, be in this industry. But as we know, I'm going to speak to our first guest about this. The video games, there's still room to grow in terms of like diversity and representation. So along came the pandemic. You all know what that story's like. We had to abandon plans. So this has been in limbo for over a year. But our first guest here has actually really appreciate, because Midas, you are in the first batch here, in from the beginning, and were able to join us once we were able to like restart plans. So thank you for joining us today and the campaign in general.
It's so funny because I've got a video in my TikTok that has been sitting there for about almost 2 years, ready for me to post and reveal I am what a gamer looks like.
Yes, I know. I helped you with that. That was the first TikTok I collaborated on, and since. How are you doing?
I'm really good, man. Really, really happy to be here. Obviously, had to represent for the campaign. Like, this campaign is so important and so close to home to me. I've had such an incredible career in the video game industry since I've been here for the last 6.5 years. But the reason why I came to this space is because I didn't see anyone who looked like me in the places that I were watching for gaming. So really, really excited to be part of your campaign. So thank you so much for having me involved.
Yeah, no problem. You are number 3 of 40. So your photo's going out later today. So from today, we're going to be releasing these photos, and we're going to be releasing them on a daily basis until I can't do the maths, 40 into, but we got a schedule and they're going to be going out. So make sure you follow us and check out all the people that we do have. Some of them are going to be here, but you'll meet most of them on our socials over the coming weeks. All right, we're going to like pepper you with questions. That's how this is going to work. We're going to talk about what you do, talk about representation in gaming. What we do want to know is, actually, what I want to know is, what was that? No, that's right. What we do want to know is...
I was voguing, because you haven't even showed anyone a tea yet. So I was voguing. It's the first time anyone in the world is seeing it.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. And the 2 people responsible for the campaign aren't wearing the t-shirt. So let's skip over that bit. Let's not dwell on that too much. But
we wanted to highlight our guests.
There you go.
That's why.
That's what I meant to say.
Nice excuse, Tazzy.
Yeah.
Nice rescue.
That's good. I like that. All right. So one of the things we've been asking people over this month, every month we have a new poll on Gamepad. Just want to get your thoughts. I'm sure you've seen Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. What do you think about that? Is that good for gaming? Which side of the fence are you on?
Oh my God, it's a madness. Are we in an episode of Black Mirror? What is going on? 60. Do you know how mad it is that now that PlayStation's bought Bungie and people are saying, oh, it's only 3 billion, like 3 billion something to scoff with, because Microsoft just dropped 6.87 billion like it's nothing. For me personally, I don't like it. Not because of I'm lucky enough to own all of the consoles. but I just don't want the gaming industry to be Disneyfied. I don't like the Disneyfication of one person just owning everything. I own a PlayStation 5. Most of the games I play is on PlayStation. I know Tazzie's a big Xbox gamer. I'm lucky enough to have the Series S as well. But when I was a kid, when I was younger, I couldn't have both. What is dope is both Sony and Xbox are saying that they're going to stay multi-platform. But yeah, I just hope this isn't what this industry becomes, where whoever's got the most money buys up everything.
Yeah, that's okay. So I see that. I get that point. Are Microsoft a sponsor of this? Have we got no? But I mean, for the people watching that might not already know who you are, do you want to tell us a little bit about, like, what do you do?
I go by the name of Mr. Midas. I'm a video game TV presenter. Like I said before, I've been in the game for 6.5 years. I started my gaming by creating a show on GRM Daily. Most people know GRM Daily in the UK, biggest platform for black entertainment. A show called Games, Gadgets and Rhymes, where we got the hottest artists to go head to head on the latest console games. So people like Big Nasty, Dave, AJ Tracy, Krypton Conan. And yeah, it was just bringing my love of music, my love of gaming, and being able to really spotlight the amazing people in the UK who are celebrities and are superstars, and show the kids that, look, they're just like you. They all love video games. Like having people like D Block Europe and 6-7 getting excited over Tekken or UFCs, like super fun. That's kind of how I got into it. Since that, I've produced loads of gaming stuff. I host a show on Jinx Esports TV called From the Jump with Red Bull, with my co-host Cyborg Angel. But yeah, as you know, I am super active in this space. I'm either playing games, talking about games, reviewing games, producing shows about games, or just me and Tazzy disagreeing about games.
I look forward to more disagreements this year. I'm sure we can have a couple more. Okay, so growing up, did you ever think of having a career in gaming?
What's really crazy, me and Nigel have actually had conversations about this, like personally, is when I was younger, I didn't even know gaming could be a career. Like there was such a disconnect. Gaming is just something I did. Like I got a console, I was gassed. My brethren would come around to my yard and we'd play video games all day. But I was never showed, I was never told like that you could actually work in this. So I never fathomed. The closest to me was probably drawing out on pen and paper like characters that I would like in a video game. Like, do you know how many black versions of Ryu that I did? Like, you get me, and black Dragon Ball Z characters and stuff like that. So that's probably the closest. But yeah, never would fathom that my career would be in this space. I was meant to be the biggest dancehall artist in the world. That was my plan.
I remember you
and yeah, now I play video games for a living.
Yeah. And then he was like, oh, video games, okay, going over there.
It's interesting you say that, and it's really good that you say that, because even today still, like, I work with young people and have similar conversations of young people who play games. Like it's not a surprise to find young people play games, but when you say that you can work in games and you can work in these kind of roles, it's like a light bulb moment. It's like, oh, I never thought about that. But then it almost seems obvious when you think about it, but if you don't know, you don't know. But someone has to make these games, someone has to sell these games and all that. So as part of the campaign that we're launching, like I mentioned, we have 40 people taking part in the photo campaign, but we're also going to be working on delivering a series of events. And one of those events is a careers roundtable, where we'll be bringing together different people in the industry at different stages of the video game development process, so that young people and parents as well can get a good sense of video games as a career and not just a hobby, or depending on certain parents, maybe some like mine from West African backgrounds, a waste of time. So they can see that there are viable career paths in this industry. So that's something we're going to be doing over spring. We'll be putting those details on our website, on our socials. So definitely check that out if you are someone who wants to be in this space, someone who is supporting someone who wants to be in this space, and if you're working in video games, because we are working on putting together that roundtable. So if you want to give us your experience, especially if you work in like a career that we might not think about, because I think everyone knows like programming, art, but maybe like HR, finance,
law.
Law, very important.
I think one of the things that gets me so excited about this campaign is that it isn't just about like highlighting diversity. It isn't just about promoting inclusion. It's about like actually shedding light on all of those careers that are involved in gaming, because it's just so massive. Like Midas said, like Microsoft just dropped like nearly 70 billion. Like, if that much money is moving, there are a lot of things like needed like to move that amount of money to make that decision. And a big tech company like Microsoft doesn't just drop that amount of money if there's not a profit. Like, there is money in gaming, there are careers in gaming, and we hope to highlight those.
But just to put it in perspective, we're obviously based in the UK, and the UK have just done this whole, spent all of this money on doing this fast rail train that runs all the way from Reading into the UK. It looks like a new tube, and they've been working on it for time. It's been pushed back and back and back, and this is a huge thing they've spent, and they've spent something like 20 billion. And so it puts it into perspective. Like, this is going to be one of the hugest, biggest changes in the UK, and they spent 20 billion, and Microsoft are just like, I actually think they acquired Tassie, because I saw a posting the other day about getting a fridge.
Oh,
no, I had to buy that fridge. That was not.
Well, they bought you as well. I thought they owned my head as well.
If they would like to have that discussion, let me just say, we are available for acquisition, and it will not take 70 billion. I can tell you that.
It will take a fraction so small of that.
Not too small though.
Not too small. Yeah.
Let's not undersell ourselves.
maybe like around Bungie's.
Look,
pricing.
what we're saying is, for a few billion, you can have all this. So, so in the space of video games, we do see a lot of companies, talking about diversity and inclusion, whether it's in their games or their workforce. And I feel that's especially so over the past couple of years. But we always like to, look at the positive examples that we can highlight. So I don't know, Midas, have you got any examples of any companies, games doing positive change that maybe others can learn from?
Yeah, 100%. So I'll give you two ones really quickly. So the first one is Deathloop. So Deathloop was a PlayStation exclusive from Bethesda that dropped last year, won loads of Game of the Years, won loads of 10 out of 10s on big platforms. And the thing that was incredible is it had a black protagonist and a black antagonist. So the goodie and so-called baddie were both black characters, and it showed that it can sell well. It showed that it can do really well. And there's been this stigma of, we can't have a black lead protagonist in the game because it's not going to connect with people, or people are not going to be that interested. Bethesda showed out, they did it, and it killed the place.
Yeah, and the thing about that is, you had the two main characters being black characters in a story that wasn't about being black, which is always nice to see.
Which was the best thing as well. They were just themselves. They were two black characters. They wasn't like, yo man, I'm from the hood. Like, they didn't have to talk like that. Like, there was none. And it was such an inflection of the whole kind of Foxy Brown and Black Dynamite, like all of that. And they just nailed it really, really well. And then secondly, like I said, I host on Jinx Esports TV. It's Black History Month now in the States. We had our Black History Month last year, and Jinx have done so much in making sure there's more representation in the platform. And I remember going to them like, look, I've got some plans for Black History Month. And it was like, let's do it. They put money behind it. We did a really cool campaign of like my favorite Black video game characters. There's been such an explosion of new Black faces on their platform. We got, obviously, myself is on there. You've got MC Fixer. You've got Jazina Plays. So even a company that I work with who are always open to listen, the heads of the company and the people on top, they're not Black. So whenever I bring something to them, they ask my opinion and really kind of take what my mindset is and what I think to help elevate what it is, rather than them just being like 6 white guys in a room like, oh, let's do it this way.
That's so important. That key word there is like listen and then act. Like listen and actually take on board, especially when you have someone in your team that is from that group. Not that one person represents a whole group of people.
Yeah, Midas is the spokesman.
But just to have that view that is different is great, and it's great to hear such positive stories. What game are you most excited for this year? There's a few, so.
Oh, it's mad. So right now, I'm playing Arceus. I'm so sucked in, and I'm not even a Pokemon guy. Like, people was taking a mickey out of me on Twitter all last week because I was proper shocked because I didn't know that a Psyduck evolved into a Golduck, and Twitter roasted me. But what you gotta understand is, I'm a hardcore RPG guy. So I started on Final Fantasies. So like, you gotta think, Final Fantasy 7 came out in 1997, and then Pokemon Red and Blue came out in 1998. I weren't playing Pokemon. So like, I played a hardcore RPG. So this is the first Pokemon game that's really gassed me.
What drew you in?
Say that again?
What drew you in?
It's weird. I just like that it just feels so open. It just doesn't, like, I feel like whenever I play Pokemon games, they feel like really old games just with a nice coat of paint. And this is the first one that feels proper modern. The way you can sneak up on Pokemon, the way you can throw your balls running around, like, it just feels like an open world JRPG that I would normally play. So I'm loving that. But to answer your question, Tazzy, yes, there's loads. But the thing I'm most excited for is Horizon Forbidden West. I thought for Horizon Zero Dawn was an incredible game. I think Aloy is such an amazing protagonist. But Breath of the Wild kind of spoiled that game for me, because Breath of the Wild was so open. And then, like, I started Horizon Zero Dawn. I loved it. Started playing Breath of the Wild. I was like, this is the best game I've ever played. And then went back to finish Horizon. I was like, maybe this is not as good as I thought it was.
Oh, damn.
And I think that Guerrilla's really taken so many steps in opening up the game and making it feel incredible. And I know God of War is meant to drop this year, but I don't know. I feel like God of War is going to be a bit more samey, and I feel like Horizon is literally going to be incredible.
Ooh, okay. I'm not going to get started on God of War because otherwise we'll turn this into a different.
This is not a God of War stream, okay?
So you can get me back for that.
We'll do that. I'll challenge you on that one.
Stick around as our second guest segment is coming up, and we'll be revealing details about another campaign after a short break.
Thank you for joining us, Midas.
Thank you both for having me. Just a quick plug that my birthday is the day after, April the 10th, so neither of you can forget. I'll be expecting gifts from both of you.
You could have said the 11th, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so acquisition, when you get your acquisition money, I'll be expecting big gifts.
Yeah, no, we'll funnel that straight in.
Yeah.
Love
We've got to give back to the community, so.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for doing the campaign. It's really important. And yeah, I just want people to really think about it. Like, do I look like a gamer? Might sound like a easy question, but when you're not seen, it isn't. So I just really thank you for involving me. Really enjoy it. And yeah, that's about it.
Hey there, I'm Nigel from mayamada. Thanks for watching our video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the other great videos we have on the channel. You can also join the Gamepad Discord and check out the next event at gamepad.events. We'll see you soon.